Let's see if we can figure out what 4 4/5 divided by 1 1/2 is. And I encourage you to pause the video and see if you can figure it out on your own. And I'll give you a hint. See if you can rewrite these mixed numbers as what is sometimes called improper fractions. All right, now let's do this together. So how can we rewrite 4 4/5? Well, 4 4/5 is the same thing as, if we take the 4, that's the same thing as 4 plus 4/5. 4 plus 4/5. And 4 is the same thing as 20/5. So 4 is the same thing as 20/5. And then plus 4/5. Well, what are you going to get? You're going to get, you add the numerators, you get 24/5. 24/5. Another way to think about it is take this denominator, takes the fifths, multiply by 4, you get 20/5, plus the 4/5 that you already have is 24/5. And so this is the same thing as 24/5 divided by, we do the same idea. 1 1/2 is the same thing as 1 plus 1/2. 1 is the same thing as 2 halves plus 1/2. And so that's going to be, add the numerators, that's going to be 3 halves. So just like this, we're able to rewrite our expression as 24/5 divided by 3 halves. And now the key realization is that that is the same thing as 24/5 times the reciprocal of 3 halves. So times, pause the video, what's the reciprocal of 3 halves? Well, the reciprocal of 3 halves, you just swap the numerator and the denominator, is going to be 2 over 3. Now, what is this going to be? Well, there's a couple of ways to do it. You could just straight up multiply the numerators and you would get 48, and then multiply the denominators and you would get 15. So you get 48 over 15. But you might be able to rewrite that in slower, or in a more, sometimes what's called a more simplified way. But another way of thinking about this is you could just say, well, this is the same thing as 24 times 2 over 5 times 3, and simplify things before you even multiply them out. 5 times 5 times 3. And you realize that, look, 24 and 3 are both divisible by 3, so let me divide them both by 3. So 24 divided by 3 is 8, and 3 divided by 3 is equal to 1. And then you could multiply the numerators and the denominators. And so you get, in the numerator, 8 times 2 is 16. In the denominator, you get a 5. So you get 16/5. And then if you want to express that as a mixed number, 16 over 5, well, 5 goes into 16 3 times with 1 left over. So this is 3 1/5. And one thing to appreciate, right over here, I simplify the 24 and the 3 at this step. Sometimes you'll see people simplifying at this step. So they'll say, hey, look, eventually I'm going to have a 24 in the numerator and a 3 in the denominator. So let me divide both of those by 3. So they'll say 24 divided by 3 is 8, and then a 3 divided by 3 is 1. And this is sometimes called a cross reduction, but this is all that's going on right over here.